Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. Last week, I had thought that potentially we would have red weeks in ES, NQ, and small caps. And I also thought that we would get an initial upwards thrust in oil. And I think we did pretty well on all of those things. So, and I had said that potentially that this week would be different in terms of not buying the dip, and that happened as well. So what's gonna happen for next week? Well, you know what, when I was preparing for the video, I was like, I'm not confident in any of this, but I'm never super confident. I always think that this week, whatever I'm doing this week, is harder than last week. Always. So anyway, I have some intelligence, I think, to share with you, and that is that once we look at the indices charts, you're going to see that ES and NQ both closed on the lows, but small caps did not. So there's relative strength there. So if it is your inclination to short either the Nasdaq or the S&P, might I suggest to you that potentially putting a long on of whatever size on the small caps would be a good hedge, potentially. I don't know. I don't know anything. Also, I think that if there is an initial downwards action in oil, I think it will get bought this week again. And so I don't know whether there'll be initial downwards action in oil or not, but if there is, I do think it will get bought. And I will pay special attention to the miners, because if miners do not gap up, a gap up will be potentially higher odds of just gap and go. But if miners do not gap up, then I think higher odds of finding a new low will be put in place. And I will show you on the chart where I am going to buy the F out of it if it gets there. And then lastly, I cannot read my notes because I am old. Hold on just a second. We're going to do this early. Ready? All right. Oh, yeah. So I don't typically cover the dollar chart, but here's my thought. If the dollar gaps lower on the open, I think there's a higher probability of it closing the week red. It doesn't mean it won't go, right? But if it gaps lower, I think potentially it will have a higher probability of closing red than if it gaps up. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's talk charts. You ready? Oh, a different noise. Oh my God, I am a goober. Okay. Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Anyway, if I could just edit. Let's start off by looking at ES or SPX weekly futures. Okay. Can I just toot my own horn for one hot second here? Yes, I can, because it's my video. Okay. So this pink line, I had made sort of a big deal out of it a while ago because it's an important line. And if I could just make this lower without making it look like, okay, here we go. Because we hadn't gotten above it, basically, we hadn't got closed above it since 2015, at the end of 2015. So we kind of, we broke above it, and then I said, look like a fakey breaky. And potentially that this week, even though all of these previous weeks without buying had been bought the next week, I thought potentially we'd have another red week, and we got that. So that confirms to me, potentially, that we do actually have a fakey breaky. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean that we won't come back and test this again. Although if we do, then what? I don't know. I don't think so, but it's possible. So anyway, the numbers to look out for this week on the weekly ES chart are 4489. That would be another back test of this line. To me, it seems unlikely that we will get that this week. What seems more likely is that we will back test this 4380 level at a minimum. And you know what's weird about TradingView is, and I called their people about this, but this is not actually where we closed. We didn't close at 4421. We closed much closer to the lows. We closed right on the freaking line. All right, let's look at the daily. Okay. Can I just, again, I know I have a lot of lines. You're probably like, Jules, it's going to hit one of them. But the important part is knowing which ones to look for at any given time. So anyway, these are the pivots I am looking at for Sunday night / Monday. This would sort of, by the way, I should mention that even though this is also wrong, we closed right about right here. But this 4440 area, I think would be a nice place to take a short if you are so inclined. If it does that immediately, I think that might be a nice place. But support, we are still at support right now. We are above support right now, although with hardly a tail in sight. Doesn't mean anything because we could do one of these numbers, okay? But below 4406, I'm going to also say a nice opportunity for a scalp, at least short. And then we've got support, and this is all, you know, this would be a big day, right? But we've got support for Sunday night / Monday at 4366. That would be the bottom of the channel. And look how long this channel's been in place. Okay. So high probability odds that if we get there first, then we're going to get bought there. Now, okay, I was thinking about this because, I mean, everybody's like, oh my gosh, either are we going to face rip or are we going to bloodshed? Why not both? Why not? So which one's going to come first? I have no freaking idea, but I'm going to hazard a guess, because why not? Because I'm right a lot, so if I'm wrong, it can be like, oh, that was the time she was wrong, right? No, one of the times. Okay, I think that we're going to bloodshed first. I do, because I think, but I could be wrong. But I think we're going to bloodshed first, but we'll see. We'll see on open, because I think that'll tell us. But in any which direction, I think we're going to get some sort of whipsaw action this week for sure. And I was going to say, the reason I think that potentially we would bloodshed first is because we did something different last week, and that was not buy the dip, right? So maybe something different this week would not be to have an initial like bulls being like, oh, okay, we're out of the woods. However, if we do have an initial bulls, okay, we're out of the woods, I think it's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Okay, let's look at NQ. Nasdaq. Okay. Again, I think high odds. I had sort of said last week that I thought we would potentially test 15,209. This week, I think that there's much higher odds of that, especially because we closed down here, not where this weekly candle is showing us. What? I don't like that. Anyway, I wanted to show you this because even if Nasdaq got all the way down to 14,691 this week, that would only be a back test of the last breakout. See, look at this. This breakout is this slope. See here, this breakout was this slope. We were like, wah, 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 back test again and go up. So, I mean, seriously, even something like 14,691, and it looks scary. Look at these two little tiny little red weeks. What? We could very likely have something that looks like this, I think. It goes down, pretends to go up, then, yeah. Pretends. You know what I'm saying. This is a high likely probability, I think, for the candles to look like, I think. All right, let's look at RTY. Okay, so this one also closed a little bit lower than it shows, but you can see that we closed on the lows on the ES and on the NQ, so we did not close on the lows here. So I'm seeing relative strength. That is right in line with some of the best macro people on Twitter saying that they were buying back into RTY, Helen Trailer, and a couple others as well. So anyway, last week I had said that we were going to be red, but be contained within the triangle. And oh boy, that was pretty good. A+, Julia, A+. All right, but this week, if we go down, if we do get to 2201, I'm going to say that would be short-term bearish. So that wouldn't necessarily be we can go down a little bit, but if we get all the way there, I'm going to be like, no. Because if you do look at these candle tails, they're almost never like right next to each other at the same place. Well, here's an example of how they are. See how but then it was bearish for a little bit, see? But anyway, that's what I think. I think below 2201, bad. Above 2247, and we'll potentially see a breakout. We'll have to watch that. The triangle, however, has a higher breakout. Let me put that in there. I know. I love doing pivots off of this shape that I drew like on the back of my hand. I was like, Okay. Anyway, these are the pivots for RTY for the week. So let's see. And you know what? The robot line got bought last week. If it goes again, I don't know. I don't think so, but possible. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm going to give you both scenarios here. I am bearish simply because most other people are bullish. No, not just because. I've given you a million reasons a million times before of the price action that happened down here. Bearish, bearish, everything's bearish. Anyway, I could be wrong about this, so I'll tell you what I think. I mean, I'm looking out for this head and shoulders here. Doesn't mean it can't go back above the key, and if it closes above the key, and then the next day, actually, let me give it 2 days. If it closes above the key, and then 2 days after it is still not closed back below the key, then I will have to reconsider this potential head and shoulders. And because really, I mean, I didn't see anybody arguing with me, but people call me an idiot or dumb, but nobody was like intelligently saying, but Jules, it's bull sandwich here below the key, and it's really just consolidating below the key, which is now resistance, right? And which I would have had to say, right, you're right. And that's true. So right now we are simply consolidating below resistance for a move, either higher or lower. I say lower, but I've given you some high, if it closes above the key and then stays there 2 days longer above the key, all right, okay. But let me put in this pivot for right now. I'll put it in for Monday, because by the time you see this, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so the top of the channel on Monday is going to be, it's back testing the top of the channel right now. If it gets back into the channel, I don't know. But one of the pivots, let me say that, is 47,710. For Monday, the key is 48480.8. I like those numbers if you haven't figured that out. I like the numbers. Okay, and the neckline for this head and shoulders, which by the way, head and shoulders are one of the least reliable patterns. I just like to draw them to trigger people, are 44,300.6. Okay, now let's look at minors. Okay, now what I had said at the beginning of the video was that if we gap down, then the best case scenario for bulls is a gap up, which means that metals run on Sunday night / Monday morning. And if metals run on Sunday night / Monday morning, then we're going to have a much higher probability, I think, of a bounce from here. I talked about this big W a while ago. However, if we gap down instead, we might bump up initially, but it's going to be lower probability odds of a gap and go. What would be more likely in that scenario would be a test of this lower blue line, which is new and improved and has a lightning bolt on it. So it's like one of those shock things they give to dead people, or if your heart's not running, they put you in electric shock. So anyway, if we do not gap up on Monday and we happened to have a hugely red week, which is not out of the realm of possibility previous weeks, this would be 27.79 is double support. I would say I'm going to buy the F out of it if it gets there. Like, okay, here we go. That's a really good risk reward scenario. I did, however, leg in, scale in a little bit in an unleveraged way against my better judgment on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. Gap and go, good. A gap below, no bueno, I think, longer term, and I'd buy right here. Okay, let's look at gold. So I think, and by the way, I need to move this down. I just wanted to do it while everybody was looking, so you didn't be like, you changed your chart, Jill. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that really needs to be there, right? Because that flash crash that we had was way below. So now it looks a little bit more anatomically correct. I was just doing it quickly to show some people on Twitter something. Anyway, I think, and I said last week, that this area below 1788.9 and between 1744 is a really good place to buy the effing dip if you are a metals bull longer term. I still think that, even though GDX didn't look that great and silver didn't look that great either this week, but I still think that. So could it go lower than here? Yes, absolutely, and let me show you why. Because if we look at the hourly, somebody, and I meant to follow them. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but somebody on my feed pointed out to me that this is a bear flag, and sure is, yep. So if this bear flag plays out, though, what is the target? If it were to play out from here, from exactly here, from where it closed and just went straight down, it's about 1734 or so, that area. So not huge. I mean, 10 points below 1744. Calm down. Calm down. So that might be, I think, a place to sort of buy underneath this. And then if it goes much lower, abort. But if that's a nice area, I think, to go ahead and scalp up at the very least, if you are so inclined. However, it might hold this 1744. I don't know. It's possible. I like it here. Okay, and on a weekly, though, I should show this because this is not like uber bullish, okay? So position size accordingly. Okay, well, we have sort of I had talked, even when we had this flash crash, I was like, well, as long as it closes above the purple line, it's not going to be a problem. But here, this is the first week, we didn't close above the purple line. So gold bulls want this to be a fakey breaky. So next week, if the close is above 1782.9, which is very close to our key value of 1788.9, then, well, let's say 1780s. If it closes in the 1780s, okay, good. Even if it gets somewhere up into the 1780s, I think that will cause some sort of squeeze because there are a lot of people that are very bearish right now. So I'm going to say above 1782, squeeze them, baby. Squeeze them. All right. I don't know why I'm talking so weird today. I think I had sugar. Okay, here is silver. This is the weekly chart with no lines, just to start off by showing you this. Not the most bullish. And I was looking here before and I was trying to find examples of, this also didn't look bullish here, but the next week got bought up. I was trying to find examples with no tail, or, next to no tail, which is this one. It does not look bullish. We're below the MAs. I bought a little anyway because I was like, well, it's almost like, I don't know. It almost looked like, it just looked like it needed to be bought just a little bit, but I could be wrong, and I could absolutely just take a quick hit there. I think I will if we start going a lot lower. I'll just cut my losses there, and then I'll look to GDX and gold to give me clues, because silver's hard to trade, just like natty's hard to trade. All right, let's look at oil. Okay, so I was saying that if there is an initial drop, that I will buy it, and here's why. Because look, if you saw NQ, ES, and RTY are small caps, and they were all like red. I mean, RTY less so, but all red. Look at XOP for the week. People were buying oil stocks. Ugh. But it's right in line with the thing that I'm looking for here, right? So it would not surprise me to have another, maybe even big wicked week. But anyway, if you're looking to buy, 87.15 is the bottom of the channel for XOP. And as long as it holds that, it's bullish for now, for this week. Not forever, I don't think. But anyway, where am I going to buy the dip on oil if it dips? Or I'm going to attempt to. If it dips, I would say somewhere around this previous wick high of mid 70s or so, 70, 58-ish. I'd say that's a nice place to start going long if you are so inclined for the week. And I think then if it gets above 73.73, which I do not anticipate, but if it does, then that would be a breakout. And the closer it gets to this dotted pink, actually, then the more odds that I am wrong with my intermediate bearish call. I'm not. I think it's just going to be another week of this, and then we'll see. That's what I think. I don't know. All right, let's look at Nete. Well, I had started, and I told you, I made a little bit of a boo-boo because I had tried to short it Friday into Monday. Nope, no bueno. Abort. I aborted that one. Luckily, I said abort at 5:01, which was yay. Okay, yay. Anyway, we're starting to look like this might be a little toppy. And do I trust that it's toppy like this one was? I don't know. I don't know, because Natty's very hard to trade. So instead, you just got to look at the numbers here. We still closed the day on Friday above the 9MA. Not at all bearish at this time. So a daily close below the 9MA, and maybe we'll test the 20. That's what I would look out short term. A weekly break back into 4.83, and it's going to look like this is some sort of short-term top, going potentially all the way to this 9 for the weekly, which is 4.3. I don't know, I don't have it labeled, but like 4.3 something, okay? Something like that. Let's look at coffee. Okay, so I don't know why people were freaking out a little bit last week about coffee. They're like, it's still bullish, right? It's still bullish, right? I'm like, oh my goodness. Calm yourselves. If you look at a weekly chart, this is simple triangulation. It looks very bullish to me at this time. I will say there is a scenario where triangles turn into bull flags, and that's possible. So it's possible that we could go down to this 49.71 level, and I still think, and even below that, even all the way to the 20 is still going to be bullish longer term. So it just depends on how long you're in for, what your risk tolerance is, etc. But for now, we're comfortably, I think, within this triangle. We closed a little bit below this 9MA, but I mean, I see progress I see wah, wah, wah. So I see progress going week to week. All right, I'm not going to show you these charts. Okay, anyway, that's it. So, make myself big. Okay, thank you again for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. I hope this was helpful to you. If so, please give me a thumbs up and retweet my work so other people can see it. Okay, thanks.